Alright, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Massa Tutorials. Please do all to subscribe to my channel. Alright, so now, still on binomial theorem, we are still on the Pascal's triangle. So I want you to understand more questions on using the Pascal's triangle to solve the binomial expansion. So now we have a question on the board. Obtain the expansion of 2x minus half all to the power 4 in descending powers of what? X. In descending powers of what? X. Obtain the expansion of 2x minus half all to the power 4 in descending powers of x. Descending means what? From the highest to what? The lowest. From the highest to the lowest. Now, we are using the Pascal's triangle to solve this. We are using the Pascal's triangle. Now, if the question restricts you that use the Pascal's triangle, you have to obey. If you don't use it, you are wrong. Alright, so now, solution. So, we have to first list our coefficient. We have our coefficient, which is 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. Right? 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. So now, I told you that this 2x is what? Is decreasing. This 2x is decreasing and this one is what? Increasing. Right? This is decreasing and this one is increasing. Right? Okay. Now this one. We can write it again as what? I told that we can write it again as 2x plus minus half all to the power of 4. Because of the negative, you have to be very, very careful with the negative. So when you draw plus here, then that means the negative is affecting the half. Please. This is not half, it's negative half. So take note of that. Alright, so we want to expand that using the Pascal's triangle. So we'll start with this first coefficient, which is 1. So 1 times 2x to the power what? 4, right? Because if it is decreasing, it will start from the what? The highest power, right? Then times, we have minus half. So minus half. Then this minus half is what? Increasing, but it will start from what? The smallest power, which is what? 0. Then plus, you move to the next coefficient, which is 4. So 4 times 2x. It is decreasing. We started from 4, so decreasing 3, right? So we have 3 as that. Then times minus half. It is increasing, so 1, right? Then plus, let me clear this line, plus the next coefficient, which is 6. So we are multiplying it by 2x, right? 2x, it is decreasing, so it moves to 2. Then times minus half, it is increasing, so it will move towards 2. Then plus the next one, which is what? 4, right? It is, so 4 multiplied by what? 2x. So this one, it is decreasing, right? 2x is decreasing, so it will be 1. Then times minus half, increasing, so it will move towards 3. Then plus 1, our last coefficient, which is 1, right? So 1 times 2x. 2x, is it increasing or decreasing? Decreasing. You can see the arrow, decreasing. So decreasing, if here is 1, it will reduce towards 0. I told you that it is reducing unit by unit. That means 1 by 1. Then here minus half, it is increasing unit by unit. So that means it is increasing one after the other. We add 1 to it. So add 1 to this one, we get what? 4. Right. Okay. Now, I didn't say something here. I forgot to tell you something. Now, this one is to the power 4, right? So the number of tens must be what? 4, please. It's to the power 4. So the number of tens must be what? 4. So we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry. It's to the power 4. So the number of tens must be 5. Right? The reason why I'm saying that it must be 5 is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Because this 0, we count it as that. Right. So because of this 0, we count it as that. And so don't forget, if it is to the power 3, how many times are you getting? It will be 0, 1, 2, 3. So you are getting what? 4 times for that. Right. If it is 6, how many times? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and what? 6. So how many times? 7 times. So you have to take notes. If it is 4, you have to take note of the number of tens to get, because it is starting from 0. That's the reason why we are getting the number of tens as that, right? Because it is starting from 0. That's the reason why we are getting the number of tens as that. Okay, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5. So 5 tens. So now we have to simplify, right? We have to simplify. We have to simplify. So let me clean the stuffs. You have to simplify. So I have 1 being multiplied by this negative power 4 to the power 0 is what? 1. So I'm left with what? 2x all to the power 4. And 2x to the power 4 is what? 16, right? Because 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16. So 16x to the power 4. So I get here to be 16x to the power 4. Then, watch out here. This is minus half to the power 1. This is an odd number. So still I have my minus half. Minus half times. Please, if you are not sure that what you are doing is correct, you can use the calculator to manufacture that. Please, if you are not sure that what you are doing because you are calculating from your memory. If you are not sure, you use the calculator because you are in a senior high level. Alright, so here is negative half times here 2 to the power 3, because 2x all to the power 3, it means what? 2 to the power 3, x to the power 3. So which is 2 times 2 times 2, right? Which is what? 8. So I get 8 times x to the power 3. Is that not it? Then times what? 4. Right. So I can cancel 2 here, 1 to 4, which is what? 2. So I have 8x cubed times what? 2. Then I have my minus, right? So minus 8 times 2, which is minus 16x cubed. So minus 16x cubed. Then plus this one. 2x all squared is what? 4x squared, right? So 4x squared times 6, right? Then times. This 2 is an even number, so it takes off the negative. If it is odd number, it still remains. The negative still remains. But if it is an even number, it takes off the what? The negative. Because it's affecting the bracket. So I have half all to the power of 4. And half all to the power 2, sorry. It means what? Half times what? Half, which is 1 on what? 4. So I have here to be 1 on 4. Do you understand that? So 4 cancels what? 4. Right. So I have 6 times x squared, which is what? 6x squared. So I have here to be plus 6x squared. Then now here, you can see this one is 3. It's an odd number. So the negative still what? Remains. So I'll get what? Negative half to the power 3, which is 2 times 2 times 2, right? Or let me explain this as this. So I have half times half times half. 2 times 2 times 2, which is 1 on 8. My negative is still there, right? Then times this 2. 2x all to the power 1 is still what? 2x. right? Then times 4. So times 4, right? So now here, 2 here, 1 into 8 is what? 4. 4 cancel this 4, right? So it's left with what? Negative x. So I have what? Negative x, right? Now here, 2x all to the power 0 is what? 1. 1 times 1 is what? 1. Then here, negative half all to the power what? 4. So negative half all to the power 4. This 4 is an even number, so it takes off the negative. So I'll get half times half times half times half. So this one gives me what? 16. So I'll get 1 on 16. So which is what? Plus 1 on what? 16. Sharp. So this is the simplified expansion in descending powers of what? X. So I said from the highest to the what? Lowest. So you can see in descending powers of x, x is to the power what? 4. X is to the power what? 3. X is to the power what? 2. X is to the power what? 1. Then x is to the power what? 0. So we can see that x is what? Decreasing. Do you understand that? X is decreasing as that. Alright. Thank you. Watch it very carefully. Alright, so let's see. Let's see this question. Alright, so let's go. Expand. Say we should expand this. Expand that. So now, we say we should expand this. 1 on x minus 2 square root of x all to the power what? 5. Right. Now, because here is negative, I can still write it as 1 on x plus what? Negative 2 square root of x. Then to the power 5. You can write it as this. Yeah? Alright. So now, you can generate the coefficient for that, which is 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. So 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. So when you count the coefficient, they must be what? 6. Because of 0 is included. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it must be 6. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you count the tens, in reality, when you count the tens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it is 6. Do you understand that? Alright. So now, you start with the coefficient. Let me start from here. So the coefficient, which is 1, we are beginning with 1. So 1 times this 1 on x, right? 1 on x. It is what? Decreasing, right? And this one is what? Increasing. Don't forget. Decreasing, increasing. So decreasing. So it will start from the highest power, which is what? 5. Then I have what? Minus 2 root x. So minus 2 root x. Then this one will what? Increase. But if it is increasing, it has to start from the smallest power, which is 0. Then plus, I move on to the next coefficient, which is 5. So 5 times 1 on x, 1 on x, to the power what? 4, right? Then times minus 2 root x, to the power what? 1, right? Then mine plus the next coefficient, which is 10. 10 times what? 1 on x, right? Then it will reduce, which is 3. Then times my minus 2 root x to the power what? 2. Then plus my next coefficient, which is 10. 10 times what? 1 on x to the power what? 4. It is reducing, sorry. It is reducing, so 2. So please watch out, or you'll be making some petty mistakes. So you have to watch very carefully. It is reducing. Then here, minus 2 root x. Then to the power what? 3. Then plus, it moves on, 5. Then 1 on x, right? Then it is reducing, so 1. Then times minus 2 root x. So it will increase 4. Then plus 1. 1 on x to the power what? 0. Then minus 2 root x. Then to the power what? 5. So how many terms? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's very simple. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. So now here, 1 times, so you have to do the simplification here. You have to simplify. Don't leave it like that. You have to simplify. Right. Okay, so this one gives me 0. It gives me 1. Minus 2 root x all to the power 0 is what? 1. Then 1 times 1 is 1. So I'm left with this. 1 on x all to the power 5. And 1 on x all to the power 5, you know that 5 is affecting 5. And also x, 5 is affecting what? This x. So I have 1 to the power 10 million. 1 to the power is the same thing as what? 1. All on x to the power what? 5. So I have my answer 1 on x to the power 5. Then plus this. So I have that, which is 5 times this. I believe you know that is what? 1 on x to the power what? 4. It's the same thing here. Then times my minus 2 root what? X. Right. My minus 2 root x. Here, let's see. 5 times that, I believe you remember sets. We have 3 times 2 square root of 2. This 3 multiplies what? This 2. This 2. Because this 3 is not inside the square root. But this 1 is in the square root. So this one will go with that. Because this one too is not inside the square root. So 3 multiplies 2, which is 6 square root of 2. So it means that here, it becomes what? Multiplication of fractions. So 5 multiplies 1 multiplies negative 2. Then I'll get what? Negative 10 square root of x all on what? X to the power what? 4. I believe you understand that. Alright, so I have, let me clean this, which is minus 10 square root of x all on x to the power what? 4. So we can do simplification there, so don't worry. Then here, we're coming to this place. This place, which is 10. Here I'll get what? Times 1 on x to the power 3, right? Then times, I have minus 2 square root of x all squared. You know that this 2 is affecting this negative 2. And this 2 is affecting what? Square root of x, right? So it means that negative 2 all squared, then square root of x 2 all what? Squared. This one is an even number, so it takes off the negative. So I'll get 2 squared, which is what? 4. Times, this one removes the square root, so I'll get what? X, right? So here still remains what? What's the answer? 4x. So I have 4x. Do you understand that? So now, x cancels 1 of that. So here will be what? 2. So I'll get 10 times 1 on what? x squared, which is what? 10 on x squared. Because we are doing what? Multiplication of fractions. So 10 times 1 is 10. 1 times x squared is x squared. So I'll get my plus 10 on x squared. So I'm done with that. I'm coming to this. So I'm coming to this. Right. So which is 10. 10 times, this one is 1x all squared. So which is 1 on x squared, right? Times this. This one will affect that, which is minus 2 cubed times square root of x cubed. So here, I'll get what? Minus 8. Because this one is an odd number. It's still, the negative won't go. It still remains. Times here, the same thing, square root of x to the power 3, right? Then times 1 on x squared times 10, right? So the answer here, this one is on 1, on 1, on 1. So multiplication of fraction, 10 times negative 8. I'll get what? Negative what? 80. Then square root of x what? Cubed. Square root of x cubed. All on x squared. So I'll get negative 80 square root of x all cubed all on x squared. So I'm done with this. I'm coming to that. So you can see that it's not difficult. We are just applying addition of fractions, algebraic expressions, sets. We are combining all of them together. So I have this. So which is 5 times, this one is 1 on x all to the power 1. So it's 1 on x, right? Times 5. So I'll get what? 5 on what? X. Because they what? They will multiply, right? So you get 5 on x. Then here is negative 2 all to the power 4. Then square root of x all to the power 4, right? Okay. So we can do something here. Negative 2 all to the power 4. This negative goes away because this one is an even number, right? So I'll get 2 to the power 4, which is what? 16, right? 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16. Then here, square root of x all to the power 4. Now watch here. Square root of x, I can write it as x to the power half. I believe you know that. Then all to the power what? 4. This 4 is multiplying that. So I can get what? Half times this 4. This one cancels. So I'll get what? X squared. So my answer will be what? 16x squared. So the same thing. So 16 what? X squared. Then I'm multiplying it by what? This 5 on x. I'm multiplying it by this 5 on x. Right. So this one cancels one of that. It cancels one of that. So I'll get what? 5 times 16. 5 is 30, right? 5 1 5 plus 3 80. So I'll get 80 what? X here. So I'll get plus 80x. So plus 80x. Binomial theorem made simple. It's very, very simple. Now, let's see our last term. 1 on x all to the power 0 is what? 1. 1 times 1 is what? 1. Then I have this negative 2 square root of x all to the power 5. So negative 2 square root of x all to the power 5. This one, I'll get that. Then square root of x all to the power 5. Because 5 is affecting that, 5 is affecting that. Because here they are multiplying, so we're taking it. Right. So now I can say that this one is an odd number. This one still remains, so I'll get my negative. Now 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one gives me 8. This one gives me 4. 8, 4, I'll get what? 32. So I have my 32 times square root of x all to the power 5. It's still the same. So I have my what? Minus 32 square root of x all to the power 5. Now, we can do some things here. Again, still the simplification. We can still simplify. Right? We can still simplify things here. We can still simplify things here. Now, 1 on x to the power 5. I can write it as x to the power negative 5. Right? Yeah. I can write this one as that. I can write it as that, which is x to the power negative 5. Then minus, let's see this. Let's see that. Which is 10x. Square root can be written as what? Half, right? It can be written as half. Then I have my times or let me do it, divided by x to the power 4, right? Now, this one, they have the same base, I believe you can see, and they are dividing. So what do? We subtract the exponent. We will get 10x half minus what? 4, right? So I have 248, right? So 248, 1 minus 8, which is minus 7, right? So I get 10x to the power minus 7 on what? 2, right? 248, so 1 minus 8, which is minus 7 on 2. So I have this here, 10x to the power negative 7. So 10x to the power negative 7 on 2. Now this one, I can still write it as, okay, as 10. Now, I believe you know that negative 7 on 2 is the same thing as what? Negative 7 times what? Half, right? So I can still write it as square root of x, right? All to the power what? Negative 7, right? You can still write it as that. Sorry. All to the power negative 7, all to the power negative 7. So you can write it as that. So 10 square root of x all to the power negative 7, right? It's very, very simple, so you watch it out very carefully. Now this one can be written as what? As 10x to the power what? Negative 2, as simple as that. Minus this, let's see this. Let's see that. Let's see that. Now x squared. Now this one, 80. Square root of x is what? X to the power half, right? Then it's multiplying 3, right? All on what? X squared, right? So I can write it as what? 80 x to the power what? 3 on 2, right? Then because they have the same base and they are what? Divided, I can subtract what? 2 from that, right? So now 2 times 2 is what? 4. So I get 3 minus 4 all on 2, which is what? 3 minus 4 all on 2 is minus 1 on 2. So I get this, minus 1 on 2. Right. So I can write it as what? 80 square root of x all to the power what? Minus 1. So you can write it as that. Because factorize the negative and concentrate on the half. Half can be written as what? Square root. Then you bring your minus 1. Right. So I get minus 80. Then square root of x all to the power minus 1. Right. Then I have my plus 80x. Then here we still do it as that, minus 32. Then square root of x all to the power 5. So that's the expansion for that. Very, very simple. All right. All right, so let's see our next question. Let's see how we can do it. So Pascal's triangle, right? Then use Pascal's triangle to expand square root of x plus square root of y all to the power 4. All to the power 4. So we are using the Pascal's triangle to expand that. we are using the Pascal's triangle to expand this. And note that this one is what? Decreasing, and this one is what? Increasing, right? Decreasing, increasing, decreasing, increasing. So we have that. So let's start. 1. Please, if you have any question, please drop it at the comment section, right? I'm not perfect though, so if you have anything concerning that, if you think that I've made a mistake concerning something here, then you drop it at the comment section so that I correct it in my next video. Thank you very much. Alright, so square root of x plus square root of y all to the power 4. So we are starting with our first coefficient, which is 1 times square root of x. Right, I told you that this is decreasing, so it will start with the highest power, which is 4. Then times square root of y. Then this one is increasing, so it will start from the smallest power, which is what? 0. Then plus 4, right? So 4 times square root of x, it will move to what? 3. Then times square root of y, it will move to what? 1. Then plus my next coefficient, which is 6 times square root of x, which is what? It is decreasing, so 2. Then times square root of y, it is what? Increasing, so what? 2 again. Then plus my next coefficient, 4 times square root of x, it is what? Decreasing, so 1. Then square root of y, it is what? Increasing, so 3. Then plus 1. Then square root of x, it is what? Decreasing, so 0. Then square root of y, it is what? Increasing, so you get what? 4. So this one is decreasing here, so that's how it moves. So let's see. This one gives me what? 1. So 1 times that times all, you get what? Square root of x all to the power what? 4. Right? Then plus, we have this as what? This one is the same thing as that, because it's to the power what? 1. So I have 4 square root of x to the power 3, then square root of what? Y. Then plus here, this one removes the square root, this one too removes that, so I'll get what? 6xy. Then plus here is the same thing as square root of x because it's 1, so I'll get 4 square root of what? X, right? Then square root of y to the power what? 3. Then plus, this one is 1, this one is also 1 because it's to the power 0, so I'll get what? Square root of y all to the power what? 4. So we can do some further simplification here. You know that square root can also be written as what? X to the power half. So times what? 4. This one cancels. So I'll get what? X squared, right? So it's the same thing as x squared. Then plus, here we can leave it like that as 4 square root of x to the power 3, then square root of y. You can leave it like that. Then plus 6xy. Then plus, here we can leave it like that, which is 4 square root of x, then square root of y to the power 3. Then plus square root of y. We can do the same thing as that, which is y to the power half times what? 4. Half of 4 is 2, right? So I get y squared. So I get y squared. So this one, that's the expansion for that. That's the expansion for that. So that's how we use Pascal's triangle. That's how we use Pascal's triangle to solve or to expand binomial expansion or to expand binomials. So let's see one example, the last example on that. The last example, then we proceed. The last example. the last example. Let me take one simple example then. Let's see, p plus 1 on p all to the power 3. P plus 1 on p all to the power 3. All to the power 3. So using Pascal's triangle, we said that as you expand p plus 1 on p all to the power 3. And the Pascal's triangle for that is 1, 3, 3, 1. The coefficient for that is 1, 3, 3, 1. So this one, you can pause the video, then try your hands on them. You can pause the video, then try your hands on it. Alright, so let's start. We start with the coefficient, which is 1, right? So always take note that I said you get what? 4 terms, right? 4 terms. So you have 1 is multiplying this p. This p is what? Decreasing, and this one is what? Increasing. So it will start with what? 3, right? That's the highest power. Then times 1 on p, it is increasing, so it will start with what? 0. Then plus, the next coefficient is 3. So 3 times p, it will move to what? 2, because it's decreasing. Then here, 1 on p, it will increase, so 1. Then plus the next coefficient, which is 3. So, which is p, then it is what? Decreasing, so it will move to what? 1, right? To move to 1. To move to 1, then 1 on p, because it's increasing, it will move to what? 2, right? This one from 3 to 2, from 2 to 1. Then here from 0, 1, then 2. Then plus our last coefficient, which is 1, times p, right? P will move to what? 0. From 1 to 0, decreasing. Then 1 on p is increasing, so from 2 to 3. Then we are done. So now here, this 1 on p to the power 0 is what? 1. Then 1 times that, you get p to the power 3 plus 1 on p all to the power 1 is the same thing as what? 1 on p times p squared. P squared, then times 3. This p cancels 1 of that. So we have 3 times p, which is what? 3p, right? So I have 3p. Then plus 1 on p squared. 1 on p squared. So 1 on p all squared is the same thing as 1 on p squared. I believe you know where it is coming from, because these two affect this one, and also these two affect this p. So 1 to the power 2 is what? 1. So we get 1 on p squared. Then times p, then times 3, right? Because they are multiplying. Now this p takes away 1 of that. So I'll get what? Multiplication of fraction. I'll get 3 times 1 times 1, which is 3, all on 1 times 1 times what? P. So I'll get 3 on p. 3 on p. And you know that 3 on p, 3 on p, 3 on p can also be written as what? 3 times 1 on p. I believe you know that. And 1 on p can be written as what? P to the power negative 1. Times this 3, so I'll get 3p to the power negative 1. So 3p exponent negative 1. Then plus this will give me what? 1. 1 times 1 is what? 1 times 1 is what? 1. So 1 to the power 3, then p to the power 3, because this one is affecting all, right? So I'll get 1 on p, 1 on p to the power 3, and this one, which is the same thing as p to the power negative 3. So I have p to the power negative 3. And this, we come to an end of our question time for Pascal's triangle. I believe now you know how Pascal's triangle is being used to solve what? the binomial theorem. Right. Okay. All right, so we've come an end to our beloved topic, Pascal's triangle under the binomial theorem. We'll meet on our next video to continue with our binomial theorem. Thank you for subscribing to Massa Tutorials. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.